Awesome. So welcome to Hashtags 2.0. I told you I'd be back to talk about hashtags, and here we are. And they're so powerful, and that's why I like to talk about these hashtags with you, because we really are going to skyrocket our post engagement, specifically in this micro test phase, using hashtags. And these work. A lot of people are skeptical if these still work on Instagram. We're going to show you how we're getting 2 to 3 times the engagement on our posts using hashtags this year, and why they're always going to work, and these are not going to go out of date. So you need to understand that a hashtag is basically a way of categorizing content on Instagram that makes it discoverable to the whole platform. So instead of just being discoverable to you, and instead of it just being discoverable to your followers, the whole platform now has access to your piece of content because of the categorization that you've put on it. So hashtags can be added to our post to skyrocket our engagement during the micro test phase. So remember, this is the micro test phase. Remember, Instagram are going to say if our content is high quality or low quality, and by using hashtags, we're going to give a lot of people access to this photo using them during the micro test phase, and therefore where Instagram think they're only testing 100 people, they're going to be testing a lot more than 100 people, and they're going to have a lot higher engagement rates using these hashtags. So you need to understand Instagram allows you to use a maximum of 30 hashtags in your Instagram post. And the best way to think of this, and the most fun way to think of this, is hashtags are basically like highly trafficked museums where every hashtag is its own art gallery that people go and can browse the posts, or they can browse the artwork inside each gallery. So when you hashtag cat, you're basically hanging your photo up in the cat gallery, and therefore anyone who's currently browsing the cat gallery can come across your post because you're basically, like nailing your content to the wall of the cat gallery, and there's always millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people actually in that gallery interested in looking at cats, and that's what they're doing there. They're just browsing content of really cute cats, and you can see this is the same for every single hashtag. So whether it's a food hashtag or a beach hashtag, there's people in those museums, there's people in those galleries looking at your content, and this is what the gallery looks like on Instagram. It doesn't look like an actual art gallery, but basically they've searched for cats and they're just browsing all these photos of cats. Now, the museum ranks all the artwork based on its popularity, and the museum being Instagram, ranks all of its artwork based on its popularity, and will display only the best and most popular artwork first. So if you go into an art gallery, they're going to be, well, first of all, Instagram are going to be monitoring in their art gallery what's bringing in the most people. What are most people stopping at when they're walking around the gallery? Where do they pause? Where do they interact with? And what do they like? And those ones that they like, they're the ones they're going to be really showing to people because they know they have high engagement. The same is on Instagram. So the more someone interacts and engages and likes this post, the higher up they're going to show it when people are actually scrolling through the cat hashtags. So you need to understand that most people use hashtags incorrectly, and if we can use them right, we're going to really, really take advantage of these other people and your competitors who aren't using them correctly. So in order to absolutely skyrocket our account using hashtags, we need to I need to show you what's right and what's wrong when it comes to hashtags. So you can see over here on the left, this person hashtagged money, entrepreneur, rich, luxury, and freedom. And on the right, this person hashtagged money with an emoji, motivation for life, motivation 101. I don't know what that is. Motivation Nation, Tony Robbins, start a business, start your own business. And I'm going to show you exactly why. But this person on the right has done a lot better job with their hashtags than the person on the left. And it's because the number one mistake that people make with hashtags is going for the king hashtag. Now, the king hashtag are the ones we were talking about earlier. Hashtag food, hashtag entrepreneur, hashtag cats, hashtag beach, hashtag love, hashtag sunset. All these really, really popular hashtags are basically the most popular museums. Now, to stand out in an exceedingly popular museum is really, really tough. It's basically like hanging up your artwork in the Louvre and competing for views against the Mona Lisa. It's going to be hard. You're going to end up gathering dust out the back in storage. You're not going to get the engagement and the views going against these really famous paintings. So, how we combat this is we need to actually start, like in the art world, in the local art exhibitions and slowly build up to the more recognizable galleries. And the cool thing is that you do build up. As you build your following, as you build your affinity with them, you start climbing this hashtag ladder. And when you climb the hashtag ladder, you can eventually be seen next to the Mona Lisa, and you'll actually be competing with it. And it's such an exponential growth strategy, because when people are posting their artwork in the museum, in the Louvre, when people are going for the biggest hashtags like hashtag entrepreneur, you can actually really skyrocket your account like that. Because if you rank high on entrepreneur, all you need is one post to rank really high, and you're getting hundreds or thousands of followers from that one post. And when you have the power to actually do that with every post, your account is going to skyrocket. So you can see here is the hashtag ladder. Now down the bottom is Entrepreneur Minds. Then next is Entrepreneur, actually spelled wrong. And then above that, Entrepreneur Style, Entrepreneur Spirit, Entrepreneurial, Entrepreneurs, and then Entrepreneur. And you can see below it, it shows you how many posts or how many pieces of artwork are in each one of these galleries. Now, we need to be using the local galleries, the one that have a lot less posts, because even though there's going to be a lot less people in those galleries, we're going to be the main exhibit, the main piece of artwork in that gallery, and draw a lot of engagement, draw a lot of interaction with that post, especially during that micro test. And then we're going to be able to move up the ladder as our account grows. So you want to look for things that have a lot less posts and a lot less competition within your niche. So finding which hashtags to use within your niche is actually very easy. You first just need to start with the king tag. So everybody knows what the king tags are. If you are a restaurant, it could just be hashtag restaurant. Or if you're a pizza place, it could just be hashtag pizza. They're the king tags. That's going to be really hard to compete with. But what happens when you type that into Instagram, it's going to give you suggestions. And you can browse these suggestions, and you can see how many posts they have in their hashtag, and then target the ones that have less than 100,000 to start, then 100 to 200,000, and work your way up that Instagram hashtag ladder. You can also look at competitors tags. Which accounts that are about your size or slightly bigger than you, what hashtags are they using? And then you can discover those hashtags, click through to them, and see if they're going to be the right size for you. And then you can use hashtag apps. Now there's a lot of hashtags, apps you can use out there. And I've stopped making specific recommendations because hashtag apps actually keep changing. Instagram keep updating their terms of service. But all you need to do is go to the Play Store on a Google device, or if you're on an Apple device, go to the App Store and type in Instagram hashtag, or just hashtag, and you're going to get suggested an array of apps that you can use to find the best hashtags in your niche. And what you can do is you can just test those hashtags out manually yourself and see what hashtag app you like. But there's a lot of them that can give you really good suggestions for your hashtags. Now, you can see if you have less than 10,000 followers, you want to start with hashtags that have between 5,000 and 150,000 posts, and you want to get an array of them. So don't just go for all hashtags with 5,000. Actually start to work outside where you think you're going to be good, and you can go up to hashtags with 150,000 posts, because if your post does really well, you're going to be ranking really high on quite a medium sized gallery with a lot of people in there. So something like Entrepreneur Minds might be a good one to go for if you're in the entrepreneur space, which has 40,000 posts. But if you are starting to rank higher than that, if you're starting to have 10 to 50,000 followers and starting to build that momentum, or if you really just have strong affinity, you can go between 5,000, because you want to keep hitting those little ones. It doesn't matter how big your account gets. You can hit those little ones and absolutely dominate them. and then stretch yourself and go to something like entrepreneurial, which has 1 million posts, and you can start to stretch beyond that too, but basically just test it for yourself. So this is basically the life cycle of your hashtag and how you're going to be leveling up. So you want to choose low competition hashtags to start. You want to rank at the top of those hashtags, be discovered by more people, get more engagement specifically in the micro test phase, and then you want to choose a higher competition hashtag for your next post. And the next post you'll be at level 2. And the next post after that you'll be at level 3. And basically you keep leveling up on these hashtags, and you want to keep a big sheet of these hashtags where you know what you're dominating, you know what you need to stretch in order to achieve, and you keep leveling up until you really are in the Louvre of your hashtags, and you can use the mega king hashtags and absolutely skyrocket your account. So hashtags work the same way if they're used in your caption and your comments. So we recommend that you actually put it in your comments. So this is someone putting hashtags in their caption. We actually recommend what happens after you post your photo. You put your caption there so people can read it, and it's not really distracting with 100 or 30 different hashtags next to it. But what happens is you make the first comment on your post. So you say post this photo or post this video, and then you make a comment on your own post with these hashtags, and it's going to have the same effect as if you put it in your post. So remember, that's just an extra tip. You can actually use your hashtags in your comments and not in your caption, and therefore you won't dilute your caption and make it really confusing for people.